Rebecca, what do we know? It's unclear because, I mean, we've seen other arrests take place in other parts of Evergrande, if you will, the asset management side. So give us the scoop, as it were.
Absolutely. I mean, really quite an extraordinary development here, firmly indicating that we have moved from Evergrande being a debt restructuring story into increasingly a criminal story, potentially. So Hui Ka Yan, the founder of Evergrande, now under residential surveillance. Now, that stops short of a criminal arrest, but certainly indicates, of course, this increased scrutiny of Hui Ka Yan by authorities. As you say, it comes against this backdrop where we've seen this broader investigation, a probe of Evergrande's CFO and CEO, as well as some arrests of the staff of one of its wealth management units. Now, other reports have said that those arrests have been associated with some of the management of money, the use of funds under wealth management products, and we saw, of course, some difficulties there with real sort of failure to pay. But really, this trouble with Hui Ka Yan.
I mean, let's look at this way as well. I mean, he was part of the CPCC's that elite 300-member standing committee. He was told in March not to attend. I mean, that was quite a signal, was it not, because of the indebtedness of this company and what it was going through? Absolutely,
quite an extraordinary change there, and also this indication, because it's been quite sort of, authorities have been quite unclear around how the collapse of Evergrande is really going to be treated, not just sort of in the narrative of this broader difficulties among so many different property developers, but really particularly at Evergrande. And it's worth saying here that the story of Evergrande for the last decade has always been coming to the brink of these liquidity crises, coming to the brink of these financial difficulties, but always being able to save itself. But even so, it's sort of wildly acquisitive nature that it expanded into this sprawling conglomerate.
Reckless expansion is what they called it as well. And I think the Chinese authorities and the government urged Hui to actually use his own money to repay some of these debts. Now, the thing is, his fortune has probably gone down as much as what Evergrande's market cap is.
Yeah, once, you know, Asia's second richest billionaire, really that has dwindled. But we have seen...
That's its wealth dwindling there.
Absolutely, yeah, you can see what a tumble. It really is a fall from grace from a figure like Hui Ka Yan, which for so many years, particularly in southern China, was such a sort of figure of esteem and such a successful businessman. But Evergrande, you know, always had this reputation a little bit of being sort of the bad boy of real estate because of its sort of expansion. And as you say, the PBOC calling that out by name, blaming Evergrande directly for its financial woes.
And the thing is, what about Evergrande itself? I mean, we can see what's happened with the share price. It's up, but I mean, let's not get too carried away, given from where it's come from and where it's gone from down. The point is, how close is this company to being wound up or declared insolvent entirely?
That is going to be the big question that investors are asking. What does Evergrande actually look like as a business on the other side?
With $300 billion of liabilities, at least, that's the thing. And there's that caveat, at least, there as well.
Yeah, I mean, the complex structure of Evergrande has always meant that has been all but impossible to really calculate. I remember flicking through the Evergrande bond contracts and seeing 5 pages or 4 pages of simplified structures trying to denote. Evergrande itself, you know, struggled to really understand the full extent of all of its exposures, the full extent of all of its JV partners. It has a network that really spans all of China when you think about all the corners of the industry, the property industry, and others that it has touched. It's not just property, of course. You know, at one point it dabbled in bottled water. It had a football team. You know, this is sort of a company with expansive exposure across mainland China.